the tourism industry has changed quite considerably in the last sort of 10, 20 years, hasn't it really? It seems to become kind of wider ranging, much more adventurous in a lot of ways, and also much more of a kind of luxury goods, if you like. I mean, is that reflected in your research?
Yes, I mean, we take every piece of data we can find about the industry and how it's growing, and that all goes into our research. But at a very macro level, we're growing very fast. We grow about 1% ahead of GDP growth every year, and that's what we're forecasting for the future. But the industry is changing, you're right. It's changing in terms of where the middle classes are coming into the aviation market, around Asia particularly. As more and more people come into the middle classes in China and India, they have a lot more disposable income, they're starting to travel. So we're seeing much more growth in Asia than we are doing in the more developed markets of the US and Europe.
And what kind of impact is this growth in tourism having on transport and transport policies around the world?
Well, it's having enormous impact. The key governments that we work best with are the governments that are really focused on this industry as an engine for growth. If I give one example, in China 10 years ago decided that it was one of the 5 key strategic pillars for growing their whole economy. And as a result of that, all of the difficult decisions about infrastructure, airports, terminals, high-speed rail networks, all that decision making was done, and the build was done before the volume of people came behind it. So what is really key is that presidents and prime ministers with their cabinet are focused on those long-term investment decisions for infrastructure, because once they're built, then the domestic market and the international market follows behind.